everyone, I'm back with another card making video. This is another Stampin' Up video, and I'm going to kind of show you that you don't have to have every Stampin' Up product out there to get started with doing Stampin' Up things. I don't have all of the supplies that I would really like to own from Stampin' Up. So what I've tried to do is coordinate what I have with what I have purchased from them so far. So I want to show you a lot of the cardstock that you can get, and this isn't to steer you away from buying Stampin' Up cardstock because the quality of their cardstock is fantastic. It's very thick, it's very smooth color, like it's really great cardstock. Okay, so this isn't to say don't go buy it, because I honestly want to own a ton more. But when you don't have any and you're kind of scrounging around and you want to coordinate something, this is a good way to do it. I have a ton of cardstock from Recollections, and that is the only cardstock I would buy before I started buying Stampin' Up, and I will continue to purchase it because I do still really like it and it cuts great in my Cricut. But now that I am a demonstrator, I do really love the Stampin' Up. So I want to show you. I have a little piece. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, so I have this card right here is the one I'm going to show you how to make. And it's just a really pretty, simple Christmas card. I love the way this turned out. This is the inside, and I totally love it. This is not using Stampin' Up cardstock. This is only using the Stampin' Up, the stamp, the punch, and the ink. So the rest of this, with the card base, is the Whisper White. So I'm going to show you how to make this card, but I want to show you, this is a piece of Stampin' Up's Cherry Cobbler cardstock. This is a piece of Recollections, this bigger piece back here. So you can tell that, hold on, get them both in the camera, that the Cherry Cobbler is a bit darker. But in order for this to coordinate, it coordinates great. So that's what this mat is back here. It's the Recollections. I do love the Cherry Cobbler. This is a very pretty color for red. Okay, so now that I've said that, the supplies that I'm using from Stampin' Up are, I'm using this little snowflake here from the Snow Day stamp set. I'm going to use Christmas Wishes right here from the Joy to the World stamp set. And I'm going to use this snowflake ornament and this snowflake ornament from the Christmas Collectibles stamp set. The stamps all look like this. So they're the cling mount stamps. I'm also going to use the Jewels Basic Rhinestones. So I'm going to use this size up here. I'm going to use the ornament punch that looks like this to go with my ornaments. And that's it for this one as far as Stampin' Up products go. The rest of this is Recollections. I'm going to use Bahama Blue Memento ink. And I'm going to use this blue and white twine. And I'm going to copycat this card using the blue instead of the red. I'm also going to show you a really cool trick on punching these little ornaments out. But the first thing that we're going to do is some stamping. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have it opening on the top. And then my mat is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're actually going to just attach that to the front really quick. This is kind of going to be a little step-by-step. So it may run a little longer than normal. But I'll try not to drag it out too much. So like normal, I'm just going to just center this on the front of the card. Just like that. And I'm going to set that aside. So my next layer is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And what I want to do with this one is I want to do my stamping. I'm going to take my Christmas Wishes and I'm going to use the Bahama Blue and I'm going to ink this up really good to get a crisp image. So I've inked it up really good. And I'm going to kind of use this one as a little guide on where I want to put my Christmas Wishes. It's going to be kind of centered towards the bottom of the card, but not all the way down. So I think that's about 1 inch up. So I'm going to use my grid here. And then I'm going to stamp this about right here, just like that. I'm going to set that one aside. So that's what Christmas Wishes looks like. Now with this piece, I'm going to bring out my Cuttlebug and I'm going to show you. I'm going to cover this ink. Going to show you how to use one of the Tim Holtz diffuser, that's what it's called. I just got these at the scrapbook expo that I went to and tested it out last night, was playing with it, and it's really cool. So the sandwich that you need to make for the Cuttlebug, hopefully I'm in the frame there, is the A plate, and then you need your B plate for your cutting. Okay, so we're going to stack those. I'm going to stack them over here so I have some room. Then I'm going to take my, sorry about my arms, I'm going to move this stuff over a little bit. Okay, so here's my stack. Then I'm going to take my Christmas Wishes and I'm going to stick it in my, this is a Sizzix embossing folder, and it's the one called Dots, so it's very similar to the Swiss Dots. So I'm going to take that and put that down here, and I think I'll move this over so you guys can see. So I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to kind of hang on to it so it doesn't move. Then I'm going to take my diffuser, that's what it's called, and this oval here, I'm going to line up with my words, Christmas Wishes, being in the center. So I'm going to carefully pick this up to show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to line it up like that. Okay, I'm going to bring my Cuttlebug back over. And I'm going to hang on to this so it doesn't move too much, and I'm just going to kind of shove it in there so it'll catch. I'm going to run it through once, and then I'm going to run it back through again. I just think that it gives a better embossed look if I do it like that. So I'm going to take it all apart, set that aside. And then we're going to set these aside because we don't need those now. Okay, so now it looks like this, where the little oval around the sentiment is flat, And then all of this is where the polka dots are. I love that. Totally cool. And you could pump out a lot of these. So this is a really great card if you're going to mass produce Christmas cards. And you can use any colors you want. That's what's so fantastic about it. So I'm not going to attach this to my card base yet because I'm going to do my little ornaments. So this is one that I did. And I used a little rhinestone there, and this is what I used the twine for. So I'm going to show you. I've been using these little pieces of scrap to do some of my stamping on. So we're going to stamp one. I will zoom in a little bit for you. So we're going to stamp one, and I'm going to show you a little trick. And some of you may already know this. If you do, I'm just behind. On how to get this little piece to line up inside the punch without messing with it. So let's go ahead and ink the snowflake ornament here. Really good. There we go. So I'm just going to punch this, or stamp this little piece of paper. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a sticky note. And instead of my sticky being over here, I'm going to have the sticky facing me. And I'm going to put this piece just like that, so it doesn't come down on the top of the ornament here. It's right above. And this is what I'm going to hang on to use my punch. So I'm going to line this up with my ornament here where I can hang on to that pink sticky note. And I can line my ornament up. Then I can punch it out. And I'm left with that. So that is my little tip for how to punch out from using little scraps. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add my little rhinestone. And I'm using the ones up here. Okay, so I just placed that right in the center. And now for the fun part. I'm going to tie the twine onto my ornament. And I'm going to try to do this as best as I can being on camera so it doesn't take too awfully long. So I'm just wrapping it around that little top piece of the ornament. And I'm going to tie it in a bow. Like I said, hopefully this goes kind of smooth. It's usually when you're on film and you're trying to tie bows and knots, and they don't work out. So I'm already having a hard time grabbing this. Just gonna wrap it around and tuck it in there. And hopefully I don't have to fiddle too much. So I'm gonna tie it real tight, and then I'm gonna kind of move my knot over to the center. And then I'm going to pull my strings. So I will have my little bow. And this one got all twisted. I'm actually going to pull it out and kind of twist it as I'm going. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to work. I knew one side was not going to do very well since I was filming. Okay. There we go. I think. Not really. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute and I'm going to fix this bow and I will be right back. Okay, got my bow. That was driving me nuts. Okay, so I'm just going to clip my little ends here. So then I have a little bow on my ornament. Okay, so there's a little piece left over. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to make some strings for the top so it looks like the ornaments are hanging down from the top of the card. So I'm going to place them where I want them. So this one up a little more and this one down. So I'm just going to take my string and kind of eyeball a piece for that one. And then a piece for that one. And then on the back of the ornament, I'm going to take a little piece of tape. I'm going to cut this in half actually. Use for the other one. And I'm going to tape my twine onto the back of my little ornament so it doesn't move when I'm trying to tape it to the card. And then it won't come off the back. And then to attach these, I'm going to just use some little glue dots because this is textured and I want the ornaments to stay and not come off. And I'm going to use one for each side and then one for the bottom of the ornament. So I just put some little glue dots on the back, just 3 of them there. I'm going to try to line this up again. So about like that. So I'm going to push those down. And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to tape the back of this little piece of twine down. So I'm going to make sure that it's straight. So there's the first one. Now we're going to work on the other one. Grab that piece of tape. And again, I'm just going to stick it to the back. And grab my little glue dots. Then we'll see where this one should go. I think down like this. And again, we're going to just wrap the twine over to the back of the card. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece to the front. So I'm going to go all the way around with the ATG tape. And I'm going to do a couple of slides right through the middle here because of that texture. So then we're just going to go ahead and center this right here on the front. Just like that. So there we have a really simple, and I think it's really pretty. And being able to use, you know, any kind of colors that you want is going to be really cool to make a bunch of these. I'm not going to do the inside because the inside is pretty basic. It's just I cut this mat at 4 by 5 1/4. This is a 3 by 4 index card that I flipped over to use the blank side, and I just inked it with the cherry cobbler, and then I put that little snowflake stamp down right there, and that's this little one from the Snow Day set that I used. So I'm not going to do the inside of the blue one because it's basically I would do the same thing. So that's pretty cut and dry there. But there are a couple of really simple and pretty Christmas cards that you can make. If you're one of those ones that likes one and just wants to mass produce for everybody, you can use different color combos with these too. So just wanted to share. I hope you guys all like it. If you want to know anything about the Stampin' Up! Products I did use or anything else, if you have any questions or anything, I will put my website in the description and you guys can go check out some of the stuff they have. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!